It's the Friday Feels, and we're back with your first sip of the weekend. You're now tuned in to this week's episode of Your Happy Hour. I'm your host, Nicole Karmine, and it's amazing to have you here, joining me this week as we uncover the truths about being a human and a working professional. What are you up to this Friday? Well, whatever it is, this moment is just for you. So, what's on the agenda for today? Well, first of all, a very big welcome back to you all. It's been a minute, as they would say in America, but it's been a really long and well-deserved break since we left you at the end of season 1 in July this year. So much has happened since then, and we want to know what's happening on your end of the world. We want to know all the feels. Perhaps you got married, perhaps you got divorced, lost a job, changed jobs, had a baby. Maybe you fell down the stairs, or maybe you dyed your hair pink or got a tattoo. Maybe you just woke up one day feeling really happy and realized that you better live the best life of your dreams. So whatever is going on for you in your journey, we want you to know that we got you, because we're human, we're working, and we're figuring out what this thing of life is about. So if you're jumping into the Your Happy Hour series for the first time, and you missed all of season 1, well, go back and have a listen. But in time, stay tuned, and you'll find out soon enough that this podcast is really all about having some honest conversations. In season 1, we had a lot of incredible, raw and real conversations. We hit the record button on Riverside FM, which is our platform we use for all our content creation and recording of this podcast. We hit the record button 30 times. So we had 30 amazing episodes covering themes like money positivity, feels over fears, action your attraction, how to set boundaries, enduring through exhaustion. I think something we're all feeling at this time of the year. And my personal favorite, the power of education, passion, and calling. We also had a little bit of a stint on the top 10 of things of being young. Age is but a number, I keep telling myself. Being young, being entrepreneurs, and also traveling solo. It was really an incredible 7 months of talking honestly about life, and also about figuring out what this podcasting thing is all about. So we've learned a hell of a lot, and we're still learning, and we're just so appreciative of you being on this journey with us, and we can't wait to get to know you a little bit better. And it was really super special for me to share in that season 1 journey with my co-host Saj Salikram. But sadly for us, she has decided to focus her energies on her amazing new venture. Saj is embarking on a company called Sapphire Growth Partners, SGP in short, and that means that we will soon have her back on here, but to talk about her journey as an entrepreneur and the learnings and insights that she's gained from that. So Saj, we're going to miss you a lot, but we wish you and Ruki all the best with this new venture. So please come back soon and tell us all about that so we can learn with you. But I'm still here, and I'm super excited for another 7 months of cool conversations with you around some epic themes and topics. We're kickstarting this season with a theme that cuts to the heart of all the stuff we deal with on here as being a human, and it's called Reinventing Your Conditioning. Well, I must be honest that when I knew that we were putting this topic and theme as the first one for the season, I procrastinated a little bit on starting the season again. And I've learned now that procrastination is really just a sign from inside telling you that you need to deal with something. And this is a big topic. It's a biggie, I know. And for me, it has really been, the last 2 years has been about reinvention. The last few months have been about a lot more deeper reinventing and letting go of certain conditioning. So I have procrastinated a little bit, but the universe has got it all well timed because, in fact, exactly a year ago, on the 8th of December 2023, we launched Your Happy Hour with Season 1. So it's beautiful timing. I just cannot believe that this year has flown by, actually. And now 2025 eagerly awaits us with its arrival. And I know it's going to welcome us into what I think is going to be an incredible year for all of us. So from next week onwards, for every single week of the season, we will be having some guests join us to unpack this theme, but also the themes to follow. But for today, it's just you and me. And so coming live from wintry and now very pretty Paris with all the fairy lights ready for a very festive season, let's get stuck into our first theme together. And I really am very curious to know, what does reinventing your conditioning mean to you? You know, we've all been conditioned in some way, shape, or form in our lives. And we don't really realize that's happened until we suddenly hit these crossroads in our lives. And whether that crossroad is internal or external, where a force just comes from nowhere and changes your life, right? And it doesn't matter how it presents itself, but these moments take us into a space where we have to take a nice, long, hard look at ourselves, at our patterns, our behaviors, and especially our comfort zones, I think. So I've really found that it's in these times, and I feel like reinventing has been a season for me, has been more than just a moment. It's been kind of a few years of figuring that out. And I think that's kind of how it shows up for most of us. It's really been my soul knocking at the door and saying, hey, it's time you and I explore some new territories, Nicole, you know, within yourself, within the world. Maybe that means moving from a habit that you have fostered and hung onto. Maybe that means moving physically, country. I seem to have done that twice now in the last 3 years. And so whatever reinventing has looked like for you, we know that it's not easy. And for me, it's really been a journey of understanding that you can't really reinvent until you understand the conditioning, until you admit the conditioning, which I think is the harder part of it. You know, for me, it's been really tough to allow myself to open up to the idea that I might have missed the mark at times. I might have interpreted things and integrated certain things and internalized certain things in a way that has set me up for a way of thinking in life. And it's only until you see that, it's only until something different gets revealed to you that you are like, oh, hey, well, actually, the way I perceive things, the way I go about in the world might not be the best way for my soul, might not be actually who I am inside. And perhaps I'm living a false truth. Perhaps I'm living a truth that has been put in a box. And I stayed in that box because it felt safe. And I want to encourage you today to let that box go. Open that box, let yourself climb out slowly into a new reality, because for me it's really been about that. It's been about unloosening the lid. And once I was able to have enough strength to lift the lid, I'm now peeking out into this new world. And it's scary because it's unknown. And I always think it's quite funny because in this life that we live, change is the only constant we have, and yet we are so scared of it. But it's all we really know. It's really the safety in change, because if you allow yourself to open up to it, and I know it's easier said than done, magical things come to be. And I've also really realized that, a lot of the things about conditioning, yes, it's a bit of nature. It's a bit of who we are born into this life as a person. I think every soul, every human comes into this world with a certain purpose. You have certain talents, certain skills. There's that creative spirit in you that's in every single one of us. I think there's a big difference between creative and artistic. We are all creative. And I think that inner child, that inner creative spirit, wants to keep pushing forward, and then society will box us and we'll allow ourselves to be conditioned because we want to be loved. We want to feel safe in this world, in the way that it's packaged at the moment. But that inner child, that creative spirit will keep pushing, and you'll keep hearing the knock, until you lift that lid. And so for me, it's really been quite tough to see that as a child, for someone who is so much about freedom, I'm an Aquarius heart. As a child, I really allowed situations to take away my freedom. And I think the hard part of that has been admitting, like I said, that's the tough one, has been admitting that I took that decision. I took that decision to give my power away. I took a decision to not be myself fully. And I almost want to challenge ourselves to think about the word reinvention, not so much in terms of needing to be something else. Invention is coming up with something new. And I think we all know that most things that are invented kind of already exist in some shape or sphere in the world. It's really just that we're discovering it. For me, invention is the discovery process. Reinvention has been rediscovering that which is already there. And, when we think of all the great inventors of our time, and we think about how hard they persevered to get to that point, the light bulb, the telephone, how hard people work to find these things, the things that connect us, the things that light up life, the things that we are meant to do here as our souls. And so besides figuring out what has the conditioning been that has created blockages in myself, because they go and sit in your body, I think often when we have these conditionings, they will surface in a way, whether it's through illness, perhaps, you have really neglected yourself for a long time, and you might develop cancer or, some kind of disease. And I think that these physical ailments and these diseases really show up as a result of this emotional blockage. And if we all have the capacity to open ourselves, we will be really healthy, wonderful, strong, and courageous human beings that are living the best life, because we are so divinely powerful. I think often when I think about how much power we hold as humans, it scares me that we don't see it. And it's so easy to wake up every morning and just live the reality that we had. I know Joe Dispenza speaks about this a lot, where he challenges us to wake up in the morning and to forget the past, to know that yesterday doesn't really exist. And every morning we are reinventing ourselves. Every morning we are challenging the norm from yesterday. I don't often, or I have not often spoken about what I think really kickstarted a whole big process of reinvention for me was going through a divorce. And I remember being in the relationship, and, relationships that are toxic or that don't end up very well is such a combination of two people that might feel insecure, that are triggering each other. And so you create this environment, and then to take yourself out of that is not easy. And one thing that I realized really helped me a lot was when I would wake up in the morning, I would look myself in the mirror and I would say, you are brave, you are bold, you are beautiful, and you are bright. And it didn't matter if I didn't believe it in that moment. I believed it a little more the next day, and a little more the next day. And I've started calling these things these mirror moments, where I really believe it's important to look ourselves in the eye. We cannot reinvent if we are not honest with ourselves. And one of my big honest moments to share with you today has been that I realized as a child, with a massive imagination of inventing things in my mind and living in a reality of my own, I never really created a safe space for myself. I always looked for safe spaces out in the world, and this is where the conditioning became so prevalent in my life. I looked for a safe space with my parents. What is it that will make them happy for me to feel loved? How is it that they see me or want to see me, and how I should portray myself in the world so that I am safe? And the more and more I did that in the world, the more I lost that part of myself that was really unique and wanted to express. And I'm still finding that part. I'm still finding that little Nicole that, believes in fairies, and I'm still not necessarily finding her, but allowing her the space to play in the world. So today, as you think about conditioning and the things that you've maybe taken onto yourself that's sitting in your body, making you sick, I want to invite you to let that go. Take off that jacket, open that lid, and think about what rediscovering yourself could look like. And really share with us on the socials out there. We'll share all the links. What does this topic mean to you? Do you feel that you have reinvented yourself along the way? Maybe you've allowed yourself to be stuck in conditioning that you didn't know you had. And we eagerly await your stories. We want to hear, and we follow your comments and your messages. Thank you for them. We really appreciate that you can share along the journey. We know it's not easy, but know that this is a safe space. So we appreciate you guys as community, and we know that you're also tuning in from all over the world. So have a look at the website. We have a little bit of statistical analysis we do every week on rss.com, which is the platform we use to distribute this podcast into the world. And we can see where you are listening from. And we love seeing these little red dots popping up all over the map. And it's been such an amazing journey from day one, having the little dots only pop up in America and in Paris, and now seeing them spread across the world. So keep lighting up the map, keep listening. We love it, and we want to see the whole world connected, empowered, and inspired together. So we are also giving a little bit of a shout out to those people, places, and spaces that have inspired us in this week. And I want to give a shout out to a little coffee gem in Arizona, Phoenix, and our beautiful social media manager, Ashley, found this spot called Drink Harlem, and just told me about it and said it was such a Friday feely spot. So we want to invite you to go and check it out. It's called Drink Harlem. It's in Arizona, in Phoenix, Arizona. Both of those always sound like a city to me. And we just want to say, guys, thank you so much for giving the world great coffee. Thank you for giving your vibes. We love your feels. And I also want to give a special shout out to a lady who served me coffee this morning in Paris in a little tabak. And she really brightened my day. She really gave me inspiration for the day as such a courageous woman. And thank you that I could practice my French on you and that you sent me into the world in a lighter energy. I think it's really important that we do that for each other, because life is tough, and what we can do is be kind. We all are going through our own journeys that are difficult. So we can be kind and we can know ourselves. And there are really amazing coffee spots here in Paris, and also wonderful libraries to hang out in. And speaking about libraries, Ashley and I decided that we'd really like to showcase a lot of the books that get recommended on this podcast. And so we're starting the stack. Now, the stack is our reading list, and every week we often mention a book that people have read, or our guests might mention a quote from a book. And so we will be showcasing the stack on our website, so stay tuned for that. And you can then go find the title there and maybe get yourselves a copy. So on the reading list this week, our pick of the week is a book that Ashley and I have been working through together. And I don't want to let the title fool you to think that it's really only a book for people who dare to call themselves creatives. It's truly for every single soul out there wanting to reconnect with themselves in a very profound way. So I can really say that one morning into reading this book, I was already uncovering a lot of bits of myself and that I have been hiding, the conditioning. So on the topic of reinventing your conditioning, we feel like this is a great book to read. It's called The Artist's Way by Julia Cameron. Thank you, Julia, for writing this book, for giving us your talent and your time and being able to share your light with the world. I know that this book has touched a lot of people, and it's just reading is such a beautiful, incredibly inspiring way to recharge the soul. So we want to wish you all happy reading out there this week. Maybe you want to go old school and go get yourself a book from a library and really smell the words as they come to life for you. But however you are indulging in words and in reading, please do enjoy and share with us how that was for you. And talking about sharing, well, in season 1, we discovered that really by chance, that sharing our gems of the week was really an incredibly humbling and uplifting experience. You know, there is something about taking a beat to have some gratitude for what we've learned, for the things that were tough, and just sharing that with each other, because that is what connecting is. And so this week, I wanted to share 2 gems with you. The one is a quote that really hit home for me, and I think it really speaks so nicely to this topic that we're talking about today. It's a quote by Claude M. Bristol, and it was featured in The Artist's Way that I'm busy reading. And it says, "Undoubtedly, we become what we envisage." I think it is true that undeniably reinvention is something that we are creating in every single moment and every single day. And, envisage is such a beautiful, strong word, because I really believe that our external reality is a direct reflection of our internal reality. And so every thought we have, every imaginative idea that comes to mind for us, that manifests and fosters into the world. And so instead of us waiting for every New Year's to come around to set our resolutions, to reinvent for the whole year, so much pressure, maybe we just start today. Maybe we just envisage a great life, every moment, every detail. And Joe Dispenza, again, he also speaks about this, if you can feel it, if you can see it, it can become a reality. So let's not wait for the Monday start. I know that's never really worked out well for me. I'll do it on Monday. Monday comes and then you just don't. So start today. Today's Friday. Take a moment today and think about the life, visualize the life, imagine the life you want, and then start living it. Start acting, speaking, and tracing like it, and you'll probably find that it's just you rediscovering the true you, the authentic you. And that's really what Friday Feels is all about. Friday Feels is about having this authentic global working experience around the world. And we want to support and empower you in your authentic self. We are here to share our authentic selves, raw and real. And so, yeah, tell us, what are your gems out there? What does your week look like? And who have you met? What are the places, spaces, and people that are touching you? If you haven't just yet, follow Friday Feels on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, and LinkedIn. You can share with us all your feels this week by tagging us at fridayfeels.co. And you can also find the website at that handle. And now, as you ease into this weekend, take a moment. Celebrate who you've become, what you've overcome, and what is yet to come as you do the crazy and cool things that you do as the authentic you. You know, the truth about life and work is that it's hard, but the beauty is this global working experience that you're in, well, we are in it together. So keep connecting, empowering, and inspiring this week. And of course, keep it raw and real. Until next time.